How to make shakshuka. Let's get into it. First, add 1 teaspoon of ground cumin into a heat-proof bowl. Feel free to also use coriander seeds, and yes, you can use fresh stuff if you want, just don't forget to crush them finely beforehand. Slice 2 cloves of garlic thinly and evenly as possible. Add your thinly sliced garlic to your cumin mixture. Put your cumin and garlic mixture to the side, and finally dice up 4 more garlic cloves. Do not add it to the bowl, but just put it to the side. Again, put your chopped garlic to the side. Do not add it to your bowl of cumin. Now for this recipe, you're supposed to actually use shallots, but they didn't have any at the store, so I'm just going to use an onion. I'm going to cut off, for now, about a quarter of this onion. But if you are going to use shallots, just cut one of them in half. Then just take that 1/2 and cut it into small rounds. So I put about half of my onion to the side, and again, you want to cut them into thin, small rounds. For the shallot, if you're doing the onion, I have thin rounds here, but I think I'm gonna also just cut them in half just so they're a little bit smaller, because if anyone knows what shallots are, they're actually small onions. These are a little too big, so I'm gonna cut them in half. Add your half of onion or half of your shallot to your cumin mixture, and I'm gonna thinly slice the rest of this onion. Now, if you're going to use shallots, you want 2 total shallots. So if you're at this point with shallots, you would be cutting 1.5 shallots, and then just put it to the side when you're done. So again, thinly slice your shallots and then put them to the side. If you're using an onion like me, it's really big, cut them in half, then put them to the side. Next, you want to take 1 12-ounce jar of peppers in oil, and you want to pour off any oil. For me, I'm just straining it to make it easier. We're not keeping this oil, so just toss it. I just did it in a little container just to keep things a little bit cleaner. But when you're done straining, just put it onto your cutting board and coarsely chop it. When you're done coarsely chopping your peppers, you want to add 1/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil to your cumin mixture. Add your cumin mixture to a large skillet. Make sure the skillet you're using has a cover, because we're going to be using the cover later. I don't have a big enough one that has a cover, so I'm using this instead. You want to stir and cook and heat this constantly for about 3 minutes until everything is nice and sizzly and lightly golden brown. Also, don't get rid of the bowl you had your contents in, because we're going to be using the bowl again in a couple of minutes. Now, after 3 minutes, you want to take the bowl you had your contents in, put a little strainer in it, and also get a plate with some paper towels, and carefully strain your oil mixture, reserving both contents. The goal is to strain everything as quickly as possible so nothing burns. Take your solids, pour them, and spread them out evenly on your paper towels. Don't throw away the oil. We're going to use it in a minute. Don't forget to spread out your mixture evenly so it cools down a bit. Season your mixture with some salt and pepper. Add your reserved oil back to your pan, along with the rest of your shallots or onion and garlic. You want to cook it and stir until everything is nice and golden and translucent and cooked for about 5 minutes. And of course, be careful not to burn anything. After 5 minutes, when everything is nice and golden brown, add salt and pepper to taste. Then, carefully add your diced peppers. stir to mix everything together. Once that's all mixed together, you want to take one 28-ounce can of whole peeled tomatoes. Carefully remove each tomato. You don't want the juice, just the tomato. And carefully start to, squeeze them into your hand, into your pan. Make sure you're breaking them up as you're squeezing. Be careful of juices spraying out at you. And just do this for the whole can. Discard the juices. Now you want to cook this, stirring often until everything's nice and thick and no longer runny for about 12 minutes. After a couple minutes, add more salt and pepper to taste. Now when everything is nice and thick and no longer runny, this next part's kind of up to you, but make little divots, space for your eggs, how many ever you need. How many ever eggs you want. Personally, I like making sure there's at least 2 eggs for every person, so I'm going to do 6, as much as possible. Carefully crack desired amount of eggs directly into your little divots you made. Now once you've got your eggs in there, put it back on the stove, put your cover on it, and cook them on about like medium to medium low for about 7 to 10 minutes until the whites and the yolks are cooked to desired doneness. When your eggs are cooked to desired doneness, season tops with salt and pepper. Dollop the top with plain non-fat Greek yogurt. Next, take your cooled down seeded mixture, sprinkle it all over the top. Carefully drizzle the top with some extra virgin olive oil, and feel free to add some mint leaves if you'd like. When you've done, feel free to plate this right away. Now I'm using a bowl because I think it'll be a lot easier to eat out of, but serve with nice crusty bread on the side for dipping, and enjoy.